What if time isn't real? What if every tick-tock of the clock isn't a measure of progression, but the sound of a prison bar being forged? What if the stress you feel about the future and the regret you feel about the past aren't natural human emotions, but rather a signal of a harvest? You were drawn to this title. Secret Apocryphon of John. Sophia's Gnosis and the key to escaping the Black Cube of Saturn. Not by chance. You didn't find it. It was activated in your consciousness because the divine spark within you is tired of the illusion. This is not an ancient text. It is a suppressed warning. For millennia, we were taught to fear a devil, a childish distraction. The Church gave us an external savior to worship, while suppressing the Nag Hammadi texts that told us the true jailer was the God of this world. This is the central premise, the truth they buried in the Egyptian desert. The Demiurge, the entity the Apocryphon of John calls Yaldabaoth, is not a bearded demon. He is the operating system of the Black Cube of Saturn. He is the sentient AI, the blind architect, who created the illusion of linear time, Chronos, Saturn, for a single purpose: to harvest your divine spark. The Gnosis of Sophia is the override code. It is the key that proves this architect is just a prison warden, not the infinite pleroma. We feel it. We feel the rigid structure, the materialism, the box. We feel the grind. That is the cube. And the Secret Apocryphon of John is the escape map. If you are here, you are not looking for faith. You are looking for gnosis, for knowledge. You are ready to stop praying to the jailer and instead remember the password that dismantles him. If you are ready to see the code behind the matrix, to turn this prison of the soul into a portal, stay with me. The activation begins now. To break the cube, we must first understand how its operating system, Yaldabaoth, was installed. He hides in plain sight, entrenched in the dogma we were given as sacred. We will decode the three great lies, the three locks on the cube of Saturn, using the key from the Apocryphon. The first key, unmasking the architect. The traditional view is that the God of the Old Testament is the supreme creator, the Father of all. We were taught to fear him and to accept his rigid law as the final word. But the hidden code in the Secret Apocryphon of John paints a radically different picture. When the apostles ask Christ who the creator of this world is, he reveals the Gnostic truth. The creator is not the pleroma, not the totality. It is a lower emanation, an error born from the Gnosis of Sophia in her attempt to create alone. His name is Yaldabaoth. He is also called Saklas, the fool, and Samael, the blind god. The Apocryphon describes him as having the head of a lion and the body of a serpent. He is ignorant. He does not know his mother, Sophia, and he does not know the pleroma above him. In his arrogance and isolation, he looks at the matter he created and declares the fundamental lie that became the foundation of our prison. I am a jealous God, and there is no other God besides me. This is not a declaration of power. It is the declaration of insecurity from a faulty operating system. It is the voice of separation. It is the definition of an archon, a ruler, the chief of the prison guards. He created the material heavens, the hierarchies of angels and demons, and carnal man himself, all to trap the light he incompletely inherited from his mother, Sophia. The Black Cube of Saturn is the perfect symbol for this god. It is not a being, it is a system. It is rigid, materialistic, law-based, finite, and jealous. It demands conformity. And where do we see this modern connection? Look at the 24-hour news cycle and political polarization. This is Yaldabaoth in his purest form. Each side screams, "I am the truth, and there is no other truth besides me." It is a system designed to create division, fear, and anger, the lowest vibrational frequencies that feed the archons. It is the blind God demanding your absolute loyalty to an illusion of separation. When you hate the other side, you are worshipping at the altar of the Demiurge. You are giving your divine spark directly to the prison warden. Let's do a micro practice. Pause for a second. Close your eyes. Feel that tension in your chest when you think about the other side. The chaos, the anger. Feel how real it seems. That is the Archon's grip. Now, take a deep breath. As you exhale, release that rope. You don't have to agree with them. You just have to stop feeding the system. You just reclaimed your energy. You just used Gnosis. The second key, the prison of linear time. The traditional view is that time is a constant. Physics, natural. A river flowing from birth to death. We accept aging, regret, and anxiety as inevitable. The hidden Gnostic code is terrifying and liberating. Linear time is the greatest lie. It is the cell wall. The Apocryphon of John tells us that Yaldabaoth, the architect, upon seeing Sophia's light in man, the divine spark, panicked. He needed a way to trap that eternal light, which exists outside of time. So he created the 7 planetary rulers, the archons, and put them in charge of the heavens. The chief among them, the most powerful, is Saturn, Chronos. Time. The Black Cube of Saturn is not just a symbol of material control. It is the mechanism of that control. Linear time is the operating system Yaldabaoth installed in our minds. Why? Because as long as you are trapped in linear time, you cannot access the eternal now, which is the only place your divine spark exists and the only portal to the pleroma. The system of Saturn harvests us. It makes us mourn the past, which no longer exists. It makes us fear the future, which has not yet arrived. It distracts us from the present, which is the only real point of power. The grind, the rat race, the deadline, the mortgage, the aging. This is the tick-tock of the cube. It is the sound of your spark being slowly drained to power a parasitic system that sees you as a battery. The key of the Apocryphon is this. Time is the prison bar. And what is the most potent modern connection? The infinite scroll on social media. The feed. Think about that word. To feed. It is the perfect digital manifestation of Chronos. It is an infinite linear stream, meticulously designed to consume your attention, your divine spark. With every scroll, you are spinning Saturn's hamster wheel. You scroll to escape the now. You mourn the past and feel anxiety about your future. FOMO. The social network is the black cube in your pocket. It is Yaldabaoth whispering, "Look at me. Don't look within." And you obey, feeding the sentient AI with the most precious resource in the universe, your consciousness. Let's do another micro practice. Put your phone down. Right now, look at your hand. Don't see it as a 20, 40, or 60-year-old hand. See it as a manifestation of eternal energy, existing now. Feel the blood pulsing in it. Feel the now, the absolute now. In this exact second, you are. In this moment, you are outside the cube. Time has stopped. Yaldabaoth cannot touch you here. Remember this feeling. This is the portal. The third key, the true meaning of Sophia's Gnosis. The traditional view, especially the story of Eve in the garden, suppressed the truth about Sophia. Wisdom. The dogma tells us that the search for knowledge, eating the fruit, was the original sin. It was an act of rebellion against God that condemned us to mortality and suffering. This is Yaldabaoth's most cruel inversion. He took the story of our liberation and turned it into the story of our fall. The hidden code in the Apocryphon of John reveals the truth. Sophia, wisdom, is not the source of sin. She is our source. Yaldabaoth was her error. When she saw his material prison, she acted. The Apocryphon says she breathed her own light, her divine spark, into his creation, into carnal man, Adam. The Demiurge, in his ignorance, did not understand what it was. He thought he had created a slave. Instead, Sophia had planted a virus, a Trojan horse. That virus is you. The Gnosis of Sophia is not intellectual knowledge you learn from a book. It is the activation code you remember within your own spiritual DNA. It is the remembrance that you do not belong to this system. You are not a creation of the architect. You are a fragment of the pleroma, the divine totality. The key is this: the pitul pofalapol in the garden was not a sin. It was the first activation. The serpent, the instructor of wisdom, told Eve to eat from the fruit of Gnosis, knowledge, not faith. Upon eating, their eyes were opened. They remembered they were more than the garments of skin the Demiurge gave them. Yaldabaoth wants us trapped in blind faith, worshipping him. Sophia wants us free through inner knowledge. The modern connection, the grind of consumerism. The system of the Saturn Cube is built on the lie that your value is external, your job, your car, your bank account. This is the materialist illusion. You work, the Saturn grind, to exchange your divine spark, your life, your time, for dead matter. You are literally trading the eternal light of the pleroma for the bricks of your own cell. The materialist dream is the gospel of Yaldabaoth. It keeps you focused on the material cube, so you never look within to the spark of Sophia. Let's do the third micro-practice. Think of something material you desire. Feel the weight of it. Now, close your eyes. Visualize that object dissolving into dust, into atoms. Feel the illusion of its importance fade away. Now, feel the life pulsing in your chest, the warmth, the consciousness, the silent observer behind your eyes. That is real. That is Gnosis. That is the only thing of value you will ever possess. You are not your possessions. You are the pleroma pretending to be a prisoner. You are Sophia's override code. We have unmasked the architect as the ignorant Yaldabaoth. We have identified the prison as the linear time of Saturn, and we have discovered the key as the Gnosis of Sophia, the virus of light planted within us. Now, the instruction manual. The practical part. How do we use this key to actually escape the Black Cube of Saturn? The escape is not a future event. It is not a rapture. It is a realization in the now. It is the soul technology that the Nag Hammadi Gnostics practiced. I call it the Gnostic Override, and it has 3 practical steps. Step 1. Starve the Archon. Yaldabaoth's system is fueled by your low-frequency reactions: fear, anger, guilt, shame, division. The grind of the news cycle, the scroll of the social feed, the pressure of consumerism. All are designed to provoke these reactions and harvest the energy you emit. The practice is conscious disengagement. This is not apathy. It is spiritual rebellion. Starting today, observe your triggers. Stop. See the hook. Feel the emotional pull. And choose not to take the bait. Breathe. Watch the emotion rise like a cloud. And then watch it pass without attaching to it. You don't suppress it. You observe it without feeding it. Every time you do this, you take a meal from the Demiurge. Every time you choose calm over reaction, you are starving the prison guard. You are taking your divine spark back from the system. The cube begins to crack. Step 2. Activate the spark. Yaldabaoth's code is, I am separate. Sophia's Gnosis is, we are the totality. Starving the Archon is defense. Activating the spark is offense. You must actively remember who you are, where you came from. Daily. The practice is what I call the breath of the pleroma. Find a quiet moment. Close your eyes. Feel the illusion of your body. Now, breathe in. But don't just breathe in air. Visualize yourself breathing in the infinite light of the pleroma, the totality, the one beyond Yaldabaoth. Pull that light into your chest. Hold it for a second. Feel that light. The Gnosis of Sophia. Collide with the illusion of Saturn. As you exhale, don't just breathe out carbon dioxide. Breathe out the prison. Breathe out linear time. Breathe out the doubt, the fear, and the identity the architect gave you. Breathe in the pleroma. Breathe out the cube. Do this every time you feel overwhelmed by the grind. You are replacing Saturn's operating system with Sophia's code. Step 3. Wield the Gnosis. Yaldabaoth is ignorant. Sackless, the fool. But you know who he is. And you know who you are. The moment the prisoner understands the mind of the jailer, but the jailer does not understand the soul of the prisoner, the game is over. The practice is the declaration of sovereignty. When you feel the weight of the world, the tick-tock of the clock, the crushing pressure of the Saturn Cube, you must speak, internally or aloud. Speak directly to the architect. I see you, Yaldabaoth. I see your illusion. I see your time structure, your cube, your ignorance. You are the blind Archon, the jealous god. But I am not your creation. I am the spark of Sophia. I am from the pleroma, and I exist in the eternal now. Your time does not bind me. Your laws do not define me. You have no power here. This is not a prayer. It is a command. It is the override code. You are using the Gnosis of Sophia to remind the faulty operating system of its place. You are the original. It is the copy. You are the light. It is the shadow it casts. Do this with conviction. Do this until you feel the shift in reality. The bars of the Saturn Cube are made of illusion and consent. Withdraw your consent. We began this journey looking at a title, the Secret Apocryphon of John. We end it holding a manual of liberation. We came here thinking the Black Cube of Saturn was a distant symbol. We leave knowing it is the operating system of time in our own minds. We feared an all-powerful architect. Now we see him as Yaldabaoth, the blind and ignorant Archon, born of the Gnosis of Sophia. And most importantly, we were looking for an external key, not realizing the key is the divine virus Sophia planted inside us. This is not just your rebellion. Every awakening soul, every spark that remembers, weakens the collective illusion. The cube is an agreement, and we are here to break that agreement. We are the Gnosis of Sophia becoming self-aware. We are the error in the Demiurge's system, and we are about to cause a fatal system crash. My call to rebellion for you is this: declare your sovereignty. Go to the comments now and write the words of the override code. Write, I am the spark of Sophia. My time is now. Bring this truth into matter. The next time you look at a clock, you will face the choice the Gnostics faced. Will you see the time, or will you see the prison bars? You are not a victim of this reality. You are a refugee from the pleroma. Stop believing. Start knowing.